8 and conceded just one. And there you can see at that Group A table, confirming that Russia have 6 points. Uruguay play Saudi Arabia next. And it's looking really good for the host nation, Alan.
Yeah, it was much better, Gary, in that second half. Once they got that first goal, albeit with it being an own goal, then Egypt sort of crumbled. They couldn't cope with the pressure. You could hear the atmosphere in the stadium, and the performance of those Russian players increased by at least 10 or 15%, and they were too good for Egypt in the end.
Like so many of the games at this World Cup, the second half has been significantly better. Once you get a goal, it kind of unlocks things, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think we've been watching much better second half than first, to be honest, as you said. But from Russia's point of view, when you scored 8 goals in 2 games without being anything special, I think they've done more than enough, you know, and they deserve to go through. Well, they're very close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does that suggest Russia are good, or the two teams they've played against are very poor?
The other 2 teams were poor,
yeah.
But at the same time, you need to give them credit. This is a team that for 2 years, they've been already qualified, obviously, because they are hosting it. So they haven't played any game that it's not been friendly. So that you have to give them credit. They've been scoring goals at the key moments, and you know they deserve it.
Yeah, and you need a bit of luck as well, and they got it with the first goal.
Well, they were persistent, Gary, with putting the ball in the right area, Russia. And I mentioned that those 3 were pivotal to making sure that Egypt didn't concede goals. The goalkeeper and the 2 centre-halves. They needed to stay strong against Zuba. The goalkeeper has an absolute nightmare for this first goal. Why he's coming out and punching this, I don't know. He's under no pressure whatsoever. There's not that much pace on the cross either. He just needs to come and collect that. And that completely diffuses the situation. It's a poor punch as well. And in the end, I think Zuba does well just to, you know, maintain his position. And obviously, it's unfortunate for Fatih in the end to stick it in the back of the net. But what's he doing there, Al?
It's not as if there's any Russian player around him either that he's frightened of getting clattered, or... No. I mean, even... No, it's just it was just a terrible error, isn't it? Yeah. Terrible error from the goalkeeper. He should be catching that all day long.
Cheryshev, we talked about him before the game. He's continued his excellent World Cup so far.
Yeah, he's
third goal.
Well, he came on a sub in the first game, got the 2 goals, and hadn't scored for Russia before this tournament. He now sits joint top scorer with Ronaldo. So it's been a brilliant few days for him and for Russia. So again, it's a lovely cross from Fernandez and a clever finish.
He was impressive, Fernandez, wasn't you?
Yeah, I think he played very well. He's given them a lot of stability at the back, and when he goes forward, you know, he makes 1-2s. You know, he makes things happen, and for a defender to do that well, you know, especially I think as well with Cheryshev, he's at the right time, you know, at the right moment all the time, and it's things are happening for him.
Bit early to discuss the Golden Boot, really, but you never know. I think the Russians had one previous winner, didn't they? It was Selenko, wasn't it? Didn't he, in '94 with Stoichkov?
All right.
He was the joint winners, I believe. His substitutes in the first game, he played them all in this one, and they delivered. Zuba, you talked about him before as well.
Well, again, I mean, yeah.
He's a big lad.
He's definitely a big lad, and they needed to handle him, and they didn't. He completely dominated them in this second half. I mean, it is tough for them, but this is the goal of the game for me. The way that he just takes that down on his chest over the head of Hegazi, and this little touch, you're going to see it again here in the replay. This is real quality. Look, you know, the chest control is brilliant, but this little touch here, just to take it round the defender, and the finish is as cool and as calm as you're likely to see. He's he's a handful, but he's shown he's got, you know, a bit of finesse as well.
You know, that's 8 goals for Russia, of course, in the World Cup, which beats the combined total of their previous 2 World Cup appearances in 2002 and 2014. Mo Salah, I mean, you have to feel for him. He clearly wasn't 100% fit, but he got a goal. He got a penalty. We were really hoping that he wouldn't miss it, weren't we?
Well, yeah, because after the season that he's had, and particularly in the way it ended, we were looking at him, and he was really struggling. His touch wasn't there.
Yeah. Bit of art.
Yeah, and it was the correct decision. Yeah. And then once he's putting it on the spot, you're right. Is that we're all thinking, oh, come on, you just hope you put this in the back of the net, because it doesn't deserve. He doesn't deserve to end like that for the last sort of 4 or 5 weeks with the Champions League and the injury and the way this World Cup has been for him and his team. So pleased that he got his goal, but it's been a tough time for him.
We've had 10 penalties, not all scored, of course, at this World Cup in just 17 games, which is showing the massive influence VAR has. I think the record is 18, and there's still 47 games to go, so it's going to be smashed, really. And I suppose we want to see more goals. I guess we'll see a higher tally win the Golden Boot this time, because all the big boys take the penalties.
Well, they missed a couple last night. You know, one of our own big boys should have been taken.
Exactly. Well, let's not harp on about that.
Well, anyway, yeah, but you're right. It's, you know, I think, you know, for whoever does win the Golden Boot, you can almost guarantee they've stuck away a couple of penalties.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're the right decisions at the minute.
I think in fairness to Salah also, we've got to praise his character, because for them to give it a go for him, he had to gamble. He obviously was only, as I said, at half-time, he was about 60 or 70% fit, but well done for giving it a go, and he got his goal.
Yeah, and there was another question mark, a VAR decision we thought was possibly a penalty, a little bit similar to the 2 incidents with Harry Kane last night, Says.
Yeah,
what did
maybe
you think?
not as clear as Harry Kane's one, in my opinion, but yeah, it's definitely, they should have looked at it. I mean, yeah, they are both grabbing each other, but no need for the defender to do that, in my opinion. He's taking a big gamble in there.
The one difference with this one, with Kutapov, he's going towards the ball.
Yeah.
He's not going away from the ball and just throwing the player down. He can see the ball. Yes, he's got his hands all over the striker.
Not quite enough to turn it around on that occasion?
No, I don't think so, no. I don't. It was similar, but I don't think it was obvious as the 2 last night.
OK. There were 2 matches played earlier today in Group H. First, we saw Colombia take on Japan in Saransk, watched by Kevin Kilbane.